So, on October 4th of 1970, Janis Joplin was unfortunately found deceased in her hotel room at the Landmark Hotel in Los Angeles. She would be found by her good friend and her road manager, John Cook. Hey everybody, what's up and welcome back. If you're new here, I'm Liz, and today we're going to be discussing the death of Janis Joplin. So, like I just mentioned, she was found on October 4th of 1970 in Los Angeles, California, or in Hollywood. She was at the Landmark Hotel, which at the time was known for selling drugs within it to stars that would stay there. So, she would be found by her friend and her road manager, John Cook, and at the time when he discovered her, Janis was 27 years old. She became another member of the 27 Club. Now, that's been the reoccurring theme this week about the 27 Club, which is about celebrities that died at the age of 27, or people that are famous artists, musicians, things like that. So, with her death, it was very shocking because nobody was expecting it to happen, especially because just 16 days prior to her death, Jimi Hendrix had died due to a drug-related overdose and asphyxia, which is another video that is coming out this week. So stay tuned for that. So the music world was already kind of screwed up. And it was very somber because Jimi Hendrix just passed away. Just 16 days later, they find Janis Joplin dead. So the music industry really took a big hit in 1970. So apparently, in her hotel room, there was alcohol present. And there was a syringe present, but apparently the newspapers reported that there was no paraphernalia found in her room. Now, here's the thing. Apparently, now this man, Thomas Noguchi, he was actually the county coroner. He said that there was evidence removed of drugs, narcotics, that there was evidence at the scene that was removed by a friend of Janis's, but it in turn was put back because they knew that they would find out that she had died due to a heroin overdose. So what they wanted to do is they wanted to take the evidence and hide it so that nobody would know exactly that it was a drug-related death, to kind of like save her from the limelight, if you will. Because, no offense, people that die from drug-related deaths technically get a bad rap every time it happens. And it's not that they're doing anything bad, it's just, they are doing something bad because they are doing a narcotic, but they don't mean to overdose. Some of them don't mean to overdose. There are people that don't mean to. There are some people that just want a high, and unfortunately sometimes that high just kills them, which that is what happened here. Now, Thomas Noguchi is the one that performed her autopsy, and he determined that she had died due to a heroin overdose that was coincided with alcohol use. So she did have alcohol present in her system, and she did have, obviously, high trace amounts of heroin. Now, her death was ruled accidental. Obviously, and it's an accidental death due to heroin overdose. That's why it was ruled accidental. Now, when John Cook went to her hotel room, he went there because she was missing from her recording session. So she was working on her album Pearl at the time, which she would never see the success of it because of her death. And because she failed to show up at a recording session, John went to the hotel to figure out what was happening. And that is when he found her. And apparently, he also wanted to remove her body from the room, but paramedics stopped him because he wanted to help his friend, but the paramedics told him, no, it's our job, we need to move her. I can only imagine how he felt finding his good friend dead there on the bed. I can only imagine. So, it was finally determined after her autopsy and a full investigation was done by the police that they determined she took a hit went downstairs, she bought cigarettes, and then went back upstairs, and that's when she died on her bed. But what's weird is that there's kind of a speculation when it comes to how much she took and how much she didn't take. So if she really did OD on heroin upstairs on that hit, how would she make it downstairs to buy cigarettes, then go back upstairs? You know what I mean? It's weird. But, and her former lover, Peggy Caserta, also doesn't understand this either. Because if you have such a strong batch of heroin, which is what some people believe happened with her, and you OD from it, you're going to die, similar to that of what happened to Philip Seymour Hoffman. But Janis didn't die like that. Apparently she took a hit, went downstairs, bought some cigarettes, and went back upstairs. So the whole thing is kind of like bizarre. Unless she took another hit, but where is the evidence of the actual heroin? You know what I mean? There's no balloon, there's no... there's nothing other than a syringe in her room, unless it was just already preloaded in a syringe when she got it delivered. But where's another syringe that she got? You know what I mean? Also, the other thing, too, is that when she was found, John said that she was gripping money in one hand and she had her cigarettes in the other one. So I think that's how they officially determined that she died after she bought cigarettes, is because she was clutching her cigarettes in the other hand. But it's all really weird. It's all super, super weird. So her family decided on a private funeral, and ultimately her remains, she was cremated, and her ashes were scattered over the Pacific Ocean. Now, her whole net worth was divided between her parents and her siblings. She did, however, have in her will a set amount of money so that her friends could party to celebrate her life. And I guess there was an invitation sent out, put it on Pearl or something like that, for the party, for all of her friends that were invited to a party to celebrate her album Pearl coming out. And the Grateful Dead were there, and it was all funded by her, basically her fortune, if you will, so that her friends could celebrate her one last time after she died. So there were some good things that happened after she passed away, obviously. She had success with her album Pearl. Let's see, there was a movie that was loosely based off of her that was made that stars Bette Midler. It's called The Rose. It's very good. I highly recommend that. She ended up being inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1995. She also, in 2005, received an award called the Recording Academy Lifetime Achievement Award at the Grammys. And in 2013, she was finally awarded her own star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame stars. And her star in particular is right in front of the Musicians Institute, which I find very amazing that they would be able to place it there. But what are your thoughts when it comes to Janis Joplin's death? I personally think that there was another person in the room with her, and that's why there was a friend that removed evidence, and I don't think that friend put all of the evidence back in the room. Because if she took a hit, went downstairs and got some cigarettes, and then went back upstairs to die, granted, yes, heroin is a slow death, but she would have to move quick. That, and when you shoot that much, to the point where you OD, or will OD, you can't function correctly. Not at all. And especially where she was drinking alcohol. Heroin mixed with any other item, whether it be another narcotic or alcohol, makes it absorb faster in your bloodstream, so it's going to hit you quicker. So that's why I think that there was another person in the room. So maybe she took a smaller hit, went downstairs and got her cigarettes, which people saw her do, and then went back upstairs and she took another hit. And ultimately that's the one that killed her. But that's what I think. What do you guys think? Leave it in the comments down below. I will see you guys tomorrow in a brand new video.